final basic exponent rule video. So power of a quotient. So basically inside here, those are both to the first power. And if we're cubing this, we're saying 2/3 times 2/3 times 2/3, which would give us 2 to the third over 3 to the third. And here we're basically saying take a b to the fifth over c to the fourth times it by a b to the fifth over c to the fourth. So basically when you have power of a quotient, all you do is the exponent applies or multiplies by to all exponents inside the parentheses. So this exponent is a 1 right here, so it becomes 2 times the 1 times 3. 3 times the 1 times 3. The squared, we go to the a to the first, so we're going to end up with a squared. 5 times 2 is 10, because 5 plus 5 is 10, and c to the 8th because of that. So here, since this is a negative, it's telling me to switch the top and bottom immediately. So I'm going to do y to the third over x to the 7th, and because I switched them, I can now make this a positive exponent. Just multiplies by both of these, so I get y to the 12th over x to the 28th. And here I have negatives. I'm going to actually switch them, so I have a to the 4th over a to the 3rd to the 5th power. Inside my parentheses, I can actually simplify because they're both a's. I'm going to get a to the 1st to the 5th power, so this is just a to the 5th. Save yourself some work. And here, this is actually simplifying. So, this is to the -1, it tells me to switch. So 4 over 2 to the 3rd is 8 to the 1st power. So 4/8 to the 1st is just half because it is just 4/8. In this next one, we're going to multiply. You can clean up if you want first. If I move this down, so I'm going to have 3 over 8. If I move this down, I'm going to actually get x to the 6th squared. 3 squared is 9. 8 squared is 64. X to the 6th squared is x to the 12th then. And here, I can clean this up first inside the parentheses. I'm going to get y squared. X to the 3rd moves down. This is to the -1 power, which just tells me flip, flop. It's to the 1st, which really just means leave it as is. Okay? So again, like I said, there's kind of two different methods of doing this. You can simplify the outside, actually apply the power, or you can simplify the inside first. It's honestly easier if you simplify the inside first because you're kind of breaking it down and making fewer steps for yourself by doing that and then applying the power. So I'm going to actually recommend that you simplify the inside part first. It's going to make your life a little bit easier. So, following that process, let's do example number 10. So, noticing here's my x's and here's my y's. So, I'm going to have 4 x's are going to end up on the top. If I switch these around, I'm going to get y squared over y to the 4th. They're going to end up on the bottom with y squared, and 3 is going to stay down there. This is all raised to the 3rd power. So 4 to the 3rd times x to the 6th, 3 to the 3rd, y to the 6th. So 4 to the 3rd, 4 times 4 times 4 is 64, x to the 6th. 3 to the 3rd, 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, y to the 6th then. If I look down here, let's do example number 13. So simplify. I'm going to simplify inside first, then deal with the negative exponent. So inside, a's, I'm going to end up a to the 4th on the top. B's are the same, they cancel. C to the 7th is down on the bottom. This is to the -5th power, which tells me switch it first, then raise it to the 5th. So C to the 35th over A to the 20th. All right, down here, let's just do example 14 since it's further to the left. I'm going to clean these up a little bit first. So if I do this, I'm going to rewrite it. X to the third will move down. Y squared will stay up. That moves up. Y to the eighth stays down here. This is all to the fourth. All right, in here, x to the fourth will stay. X to the fifth will stay. This y moves down and comes here, so that's y squared to the negative third. I still need to clean up. X's here are going to end up on the top, x to the first. Y's will end up on the bottom, y to the sixth. And this is getting raised to the fourth. This one, x's will end up on the bottom, so I'm going to have 1 over x to the first, y squared to the negative 3. So if I'm looking here, this first part I can actually go ahead and simplify. X to the fourth, y to the 24th. This, because my negative exponent, tells me to switch it. So I'm going to have x to the first, y squared over 1. I don't really have to write that, but that's to the third power now. Apply that. So x to the fourth, y to the 24th, times x to the third, times y to the sixth. Those are over 1, if that helps you still. So looking at these x's, we'll go together. You're multiplying, so add your exponents. Look at your y's, you're dividing, so you're actually subtracting your exponents. We're thinking there's more on the bottom, so y to the 18th on the bottom.